And you see, in the Christian space, there are many things that can capture your desire. If prayer does not become attractive to you as it was to the disciples, you may never truly know what it means to have a living prayer altar. You may never. And you see, this kind of thing that Jesus had, I'm hoping that in this teaching, either me or any of the pastors that will take sessions will be able to show you the prayer life of Jesus. And when you see the way Jesus prayed, if you see the kind of priority he gave to prayer, imagine after having such a successful crusade where you fed thousands of people, then you tell your disciples, get into a boat and go, leave me to clear the table. What kind of leadership is that? And then when he finished clearing the tables, he now went to a corner to pray. He spent such a time with the Father that he did not know that day don't dark. It's when he came out of his prayer place, he now realized, oh, I've spent so much time. And by that time, the Bible says that the boat had already gone far. So that miracle of him walking on the sea is not Jesus trying to prove a point that he could walk on water. You know, now we are teaching people how to levitate. Now we are teaching people that we are standing in pulpits and telling people that a Christian can go through walls. That there's a way you can mature in the things of the Spirit and you will no longer age. Even Jesus, he grew from when he was 1 to 30 years old. Jesus went from a boy to a 30-year-old. But you don't want to age. That we can do all kinds of strange things. We are teaching people from the pulpit. Jesus was not trying to prove a point about the supernatural life. That spectacular thing he did because it was a necessity. He saw them in the boat. He knew that the weather was contrary. He needed to go to them. If that was not necessary, Jesus would not have walked on water. And all of that is just an overflow of the fact that he was engrossed in his time with the Lord. I remember I was reading a story about Charles G. Finney. That Finney went into, he was so burdened with prayer, he woke up at 6 a.m. with a heavy burden for prayer. And there was a forest around his house, so he walked into that forest like a madman. You don't know, when prayer takes over your soul sometimes, until you pray, your soul will be agitated. The only release, the only ease you will feel is when you open your mouth and begin to pray in tongues. That's when your spirit, your soul will find ventilation. Prayer can become an affliction. It will be like a burden on your heart, like a yoke on your throat, that until you yield, nothing else will make sense. You will be talking anyhow, your brain will not be working until you go to be alone with the Lord. So Finney went into the forest, and then he says in his book that by the time he came out, it was already 10 p.m. in the night, and he felt that he had prayed but for a few hours. From 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. in the night, he felt that it was just for a few hours. He did not believe when he came out and he saw everywhere dark. It was that kind of experience they saw Jesus having. And they said, Master, teach us to pray.